Hi, welcome back to my story time with Nana. I have a whole new story for you. It's the last in my series of Someone Gets a Job. We're live from Ocean City, Maryland. I hope you enjoyed this story. It's my idea of how I think someone started by getting a job. I think you're going to love this story. I can't wait. Let's begin. Lauren gets a job. From the time Lauren was a little girl, her father was her hero, bigger than life. He was funny and kind. He played the piano and sang to her all the time. She was Daddy's little girl. One of her earliest memories was sitting at the piano with her daddy while he played. She loved spending time with him at the piano. She inherited his love for music, and he introduced her early on to all types of music, from classical, blues, oldies, 60s, and 70s classic rock. Lauren, come sit with me, Daddy called to her, patting the piano bench. He was practicing for the Spring Fest coming up in a couple of weeks. Springfest was a 4-day event put on by the city, and people came from all over to revel in the experience. There were bands and rides and arts and crafts, food, and lots of things for adults and children alike to do and see. Lauren loved Springfest. It was the beginning of nice weather, and school would soon be over, and then it would be summer. This year, Daddy was asked to perform a small concert for the Springfest. The city liked having local talent showcased, and Daddy was going to play some classic 70s music and a couple of songs he had written. 10-year-old Lauren gladly joined her father at the piano. He'd been working on a few new songs, and over the last couple of months, he had taught her the melody, and he let her play while he sang the songs. Lauren loved listening to her father sing his songs. They filled her heart with love and joy. So, what do you think? He asked when he finished. Do you think it's a good song? Oh, I love it, Daddy, she answered. Good. Now let me play and you sing the song. Daddy began to play the melody, and Lauren held the paper with the lyrics and began singing. And Daddy smiled. She sounded wonderful, and he knew then that one day she would sing and people would stop, amazed at her voice. He felt proud hearing her sing his song. Over the next week or so, Lauren sat with her father while he tweaked the songs for his event. Mostly, Lauren played the melody and Daddy sang, but sometimes he would play and have Lauren sing his songs. Lauren loved this time spent with her daddy. On days when Daddy was at work, Lauren would sit at the piano and play and sing her father's songs. She played and sang some of the other songs too that he was going to play, but she loved his songs the most. The week before Springfest, Daddy asked Lauren if she would like to help him with his concert. What can I do, Daddy? She asked him. Well, mostly you will be my support. I'd like to have you there so I don't get nervous playing in front of all those people. Oh, Daddy, you never get nervous. Well, all right, then how about this? He said. I'd like to hire you as my stagehand. What's a stagehand? Well, a stagehand is almost as important as the actor or musical performer, he told her. They make sure the stage is set up correctly. They make sure the performer has everything they need. And they're there just in case anything goes wrong to make sure that the show goes on. Well, that sounds like a lot of work. I don't know if I can do all of that. Well, I'll be there to help you, but you'll be there to help me. Is this like a real job? Well, it is. What do you say? Well, yes, of course, Daddy, she answered. Lauren would have done anything her father asked. She was Daddy's little girl, after all. Wednesday night, Daddy came home late from work. Lauren had spent the afternoon playing Daddy's set so she wouldn't forget what he would need at each song. She was going to be the best stagehand ever. Daddy came into the living room and stood beside the piano, and Lauren finished the last song. "Hi, Daddy," she said, playing the last note. "Hello, little Laurie," he said in a gruffy voice. "What's wrong with your voice?" she asked, concerned. "Are you getting sick?" "No, but my throat is feeling scratchy." "You can't have a scratchy voice now. You have a concert tomorrow." Lauren was really concerned. "You sit down, Daddy. I'll go make you some tea with honey. That will help." Daddy just smiled and shook his head, and he sat on the sofa, waiting for his little nurse. She was back quickly with tea. "Mommy, help me," she said, "to make sure you drink it all. I put extra honey in it for your throat." "Oh, thank you," he said, taking the cup from her. "Don't talk, Daddy. You need to rest your throat." Daddy smiled again and shook his head. And that night, as Lauren lay in bed, she said a prayer that everything would be okay with her daddy and that he was able to still perform during his concert. She was very, very concerned. The morning of the first day of the Spring Fest, Lauren leapt out of bed. She was excited to help Daddy with his concert today. She had a very important job, and she was going to see to it that everything went off without a hitch. She changed into her stagehand clothes, slipped on a pair of white bell-bottoms and a turquoise flowy shirt with pink butterflies. She put on her pink sneakers and ran downstairs to check on her father. Daddy was sitting at the kitchen table with another cup of tea in front of him, and he smiled when Lauren came into the kitchen. "Daddy, you're not dressed yet. Are you feeling any better?" "I feel fine, but I'm still having a problem with my throat," he told her. "I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the concert." "Oh, no. You were so looking forward to today," Lauren said with a frown, sitting next to him. "I think you should continue to drink the tea. Maybe it will be better by this afternoon when you have to go on." "I don't know, little Laurie," he said, taking her hand. "I may have to call it off." "Daddy, you always told me to never give up." "No, but this is different." "How about you go take a shower and get dressed," she said, "and we can go over to the pavilion and we'll see how you feel then." Okay, boss," he answered. "You really are your father's daughter." Lauren was becoming more concerned. What would happen if he couldn't sing his songs? He worked so hard to write those songs. Mommy and Daddy loaded up the car with the keyboard and microphones and everything else he would need for his concert, while Lauren collected the music from the piano. She was so excited to be part of Daddy's concert. On the way to the ocean front, Daddy told Lauren his throat was still scratchy and he really didn't think he was going to be able to sing. "We may have to cancel. I know how much this means to you, but I don't want to be too disappointed if we can't pull this off." Oh, they arrived at the inlet, and it was a buzz. Lauren just told him, "Daddy, I have faith. A stagehand makes sure that the show goes on, no matter what. Look at all these people here." There were people setting up stages on each end of the parking lot and all along the beach. The vendors were setting up their artwork and crafts. "All right, well, let's go find Mike. He's the event coordinator," Daddy said, opening the car door for Lauren. Mike was helping set up the main stage. Well, really, he was telling the men how to set it up. "Hi, Hal," he called out when he saw Lauren and her daddy. "I see you brought your stagehand." He smiled at Lauren. "I did, but listen, Mike, I don't think I'm going to be able to go on this afternoon. I have a scratchy throat. Oh no! We've all been waiting to hear you play today, Mike said, shaking his head. Oh, how disappointing. Wait, I have an idea. Why don't you play and let Lauren sing? You're always telling everyone how well she sings. Oh, that's a great idea, Daddy answered. How about it, little Lori? You're the one that said the stagehand is responsible to see that the show goes on. I know I said that, but I was talking about your show, not mine. Well, I think it's going to be the only way. I'm going to have to give you another job. A performer. I don't know, Daddy. I think I might be too scared to be on stage having everyone watching me. Don't worry about that. I know how to help you with that. At 2 o'clock that afternoon, Lauren and her daddy stood on stage together, and Daddy gave Lauren a box. Open it, he instructed. I once saw Janis Joplin wear something like this, and I think it will be perfect for you. Lauren opened the box, and inside was filled with bright pink feathers. It was a pink boa. Lauren smiled up at her father. He removed the boa from the box and placed it gently over her shoulders, and he told her, Now, when we start, I want you to look at me. Sing to me. Don't look anywhere else. Oh, I'm really nervous, Daddy. I know, but I'm right here beside you. We will do this together, and we will be great. He gave Lauren a great big hug and kissed the top of her head, and she felt instantly safe. Daddy sat at the keyboard and began their first song, Me and Bobby McGee, and Lauren sang it perfectly. She sang it to her father. She sang magnificently because she was Daddy's little girl. The end. Wow. Now, here's the big thing about this story. There really is a Lauren, and she really is a singer. And I think that's how she got her start. At least that's my idea. Don't forget to share my stories. I hope you enjoyed tonight's story. I'll have a whole new series for you next week. I can't wait to see you then. Thank you so much. Mwah.